A long time ago, people didn't have computers, but they used different tools to help with math and calculations. Abacus, 2300 BCE. A simple tool made of beads on rods. People moved the beads to add or subtract numbers. It helped people do math more quickly, especially in ancient China and other places. Antikythera mechanism, 100 BCE. This is a very old device found in Greece. It was used to predict the movement of the stars and planets. It's like an ancient calculator for astronomy. Pascal's calculator, 1642. Blaise Pascal, a French mathematician, built a machine that could add and subtract numbers. It looked like a small box with wheels that people could turn to do math. In the 1800s, people started thinking about how machines could do more complex work. One important person was Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage, 1830s. He designed a machine called the analytical engine. This machine could add, subtract, multiply, and divide. It was the first idea of a computer, though it was never built. Ada Lovelace, 1843. Ada Lovelace was a mathematician. She wrote the first computer program for Babbage's machine. She understood that the machine could be used for more than just numbers. It could also be used for any task that could be described with instructions. That was the first idea of programming. Computers started to become real in the 1940s. These computers were very big and used a lot of energy. Z3, 1941. This was the world's first programmable computer. It was made by a man named Konrad Zuse in Germany. The Z3 was a machine that could do different kinds of calculations and was used to help with engineering problems. ENIAC, 1945. The ENIAC was a very big machine built in the US. It used vacuum tubes, large light bulb-like parts, to perform calculations. It was the first general-purpose computer, meaning it could do many different types of work, not just one thing. It took up a whole room and used a lot of electricity. In the 1950s and 1960s, computers got smaller, faster, and more powerful. Transistors, 1950s. Before transistors, computers used vacuum tubes, which were big and broke easily. But transistors were tiny and could do the same job. This made computers much smaller and more reliable. IBM mainframes, 1959. The company IBM created large computers called mainframes. These were used by businesses and governments to store a lot of data and do calculations. In the 1970s and 80s, computers became available for regular people, not just big companies or governments. Intel 4004, 1971. This tiny chip, called a microprocessor, was the heart of a computer. It was small enough to fit in a computer you could use at home. Apple I, 1976. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak built the Apple II. This was a personal computer that people could buy, build, and use in their homes. IBM PC, 1981. IBM introduced its own personal computer. It was so popular that it set the standard for how personal computers should work, with things like keyboards, screens, and software programs. Apple Macintosh, 1984. Apple introduced a new computer called the Macintosh, which had a mouse and a graphical user interface, or GUI. This meant you could click on pictures and icons instead of typing commands on a black screen with text. It was much easier to use. In the 1990s, the internet became important and computers began to connect to each other. World Wide Web, 1990. Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web. This made the internet easier to use. Before this, people could only send emails or chat. With the web, people could visit websites to find information, read news, or buy things. Windows 95, 1995. Microsoft introduced Windows 95, which helped people use the internet more easily. It made computers with Windows much better for surfing the web, playing games, and doing office work. In the 2000s and 2010s, new kinds of computers appeared. Smartphones, 2000s. The iPhone, 2007, changed everything. It was a phone, computer, camera, and music player all in one. It allowed people to use the internet anywhere. Cloud computing, 2000s. Instead of saving all your files on your computer, you can now save them on the cloud, which means on the internet. Services like Google Drive or Dropbox let you store and share files from anywhere. Artificial intelligence, 2010s. Computers got smarter. They started recognizing faces, understanding speech, and even playing games like humans. For example, Voice assistants like Siri and Alexa can answer your questions and help you control your smart home. Computers are always getting better. Here's what might happen next. AI and machine learning. Computers will keep getting smarter and help us with even more tasks, like predicting the weather or helping doctors with healthcare. Quantum computers. These are special computers that work in a completely new way. They could solve problems that regular computers can't, like cracking codes or making new medicines. So, from early tools like the abacus to today's smartphones and future quantum computers, computers have come a long way. They have made our lives easier, faster, and more connected. Please like and subscribe for more content.